Welcome back to Stats Insights on the Fantasy Sports Network. I'm Shannon Sommerville, joined by Bloomberg sports analyst Chi Nwogu. And she's got some tips for you if you're playing in the daily NBA basketball. He's got some great advice if you're doing that. So we got to talk about, first of all, your number one advice is monitor injuries. It's kind of obvious, but talk to me about the injuries going on right now.
Yeah, that's really key in daily fantasy. You don't want a guy who's going to give you 0 points in your lineup.
It's going to kill you.
It'll kill you. And many times there's opportunities when a big star is injured and a bench player, role player steps in and plays in those minutes, because most times those guys are valued pretty low that day, but their production is going to exceed their value based on those websites. So, for example, Donald Sloan has been great the past few weeks with George Hill being out. He was averaging 12.6 points, 5 assists, 4.3 rebounds. And he was priced pretty low, so a guy like him was really a nice pickup each day. But now that George Hill is back, you obviously don't want to play Sloan too much because his minutes are going to go down. So I guess today to watch, you have to watch Derrick Rose. He's listed as doubtful for the game against the Clippers with a hamstring injury. So if you want to play Derrick Rose, just watch that until the game begins. Also, a guy to watch is Dwayne Wade. He's listed as doubtful for the game against the Nets with a hamstring injury. He missed the last 2 games, the same injury. And in his absence, Chalmers has been great. Mark Chalmers has been great. He's averaging 20.5 points and 8 assists in 37 minutes per game. So I would definitely pick up Chalmers tonight if Dwayne Wade.
This might be a sleeper pick there.
Nice sleeper pick for sure.
Yeah.
He's playing big minutes. He's scoring points, and if Wade is out tonight, then the same should continue. In Portland, LaMarcus Aldridge has been sick the past few days and is listed as questionable. He missed a game against the Nets on Saturday, and Portland actually played Myers Leonard and not Thomas Robinson that game.
Okay.
Robinson was a DMP, and so for me, it's kind of troubling because Robinson was a guy who I thought was going to play that game, but instead it was London. So watch that tonight as well.
Okay.
I would definitely go Myers again tonight, who had 7 points, 12 rebounds against the Nets on Saturday. Moving forward, we have the Hornets, who have a few guys who might play tonight, being Lance Stevenson and Kemba Walker. Kemba Walker has a back injury, and Lance has a groin injury. Also, Gary Neal is going to miss tonight's game. So if all 3 guys miss that game, the guy to play is Brian Roberts.
Okay.
Brian Roberts is the backup point guard for the Hornets.
But he'll come cheap on a lot of those daily sites.
Super cheap. And he played really well last year as a starter for New Orleans when he had to play. He averaged 12 points, 4 assists, and 2 rebounds in 42 games when he had to start last season. So that's a cheap option who will get you at least 20 fantasy points on those websites. So the key is, once again, just make sure you watch injuries until the games begin to play and lineups are locked, and from that point you can pretty much adjust what you need to do.
No doubt. All right, and number 2 is know the matchups. Come on, know who you're playing and going up against. Obviously, there's going to be some sleeper picks in there as well as some busts, some guys who are overpriced depending on who they're playing.
Exactly.
So important in fantasy.
Exactly. I mean, there are some websites which have rankings based on how opponents play against certain teams. So maybe the team does not do as well against certain small forwards. Definitely check out those websites. I'm not going to list them out because we don't we don't work with those websites, but check them out and make sure you know exactly who is the best matchups. For example, tonight, James Harden is playing Memphis.
Yeah.
And they are very tough against guards and small forwards. So tonight might not be a night to pick up James Harden against Memphis.
All right.
But for me, a simple way to look at matchups is by looking at team pace. So team pace is pretty much how many possessions per game does a team allow or play in, right? And so the 5 fastest paced teams this year are Golden State, the 76ers, Denver Nuggets, Boston Celtics, and the Timberwolves. So tonight, a great matchup is going to be a game between Boston and the Suns. The Celtics play the 4th fastest pace, and the Suns play the 6th fastest pace. So it's going to be a very high-scoring game.
Okay.
Tons of action going back and forth. So for me, I would definitely try to get guys in that matchup. A great guy is Kelly Olynyk, who has been great this year, averaging 14.4 points per game, 6.5 rebounds, and 1.4 threes per game. And he's a guy who loves to run the court, and in this game, he'll get plenty of chances to run the court with Rajon Rondo. So definitely, if you can, get plenty of guys in that matchup.
All right, and number 3, you got to stock up on the All-Stars where you can because they're not going to come cheap.
Yeah, I mean, the point is to score as many points as possible.
Right.
And to do that, you need guys who are going to put up tons of production across the board. So your Anthony Davis is important. LeBron James, Kevin Love, Chris Paul, Jimmy Butler, Rajon Rondo, Al Jefferson. To me, get at least 2 of those guys in your lineup tonight and make sure those guys pretty much are your pillars for your lineup. If you can, get more and kind of fill in those cheap guys like Chalmers, right, or maybe Brian Roberts, who are super cheap and who can still get you 20 points. But you want those stars in your team. You don't want to have a team full of all cheap guys who are bargain hunters. You want those production guys like LeBron and Anthony Davis.
No doubt. All right, and number 4, you got to avoid the blowouts.
Yeah, I mean, I think people often want to play the 76ers in the matchup because they're a poor team. They play a fast pace, but you don't want to have them against a super good team. Like tonight, they're playing San Antonio. And so the Spurs are known to rest their stars like Tim Duncan and Ginobili. So I would think that tonight it might be a lopsided game, and those guys will not play tons of minutes. Like last week, Philly played Dallas, right? And Dallas blew them out by 54 points.
Yeah.
And Dallas ended up playing one guy past 30 minutes that game. So if those guys played more, it could give you more production because they played a weak team in Philly. They didn't play as long in the game. So definitely try to avoid games where it's going to be a lopsided affair and the key guys are not going to play beyond 30 minutes per game.
And lastly, don't overreact. That's kind of the golden rule in fantasy, which I never adhere to, but it is a good rule nonetheless.
No, I mean, definitely. So, especially playing daily fantasy, you can't win every day. I mean, I don't win every day. It's like baseball, right? Well, baseball play, if you bat 3 for 10, that's pretty good. That's 300, right? So have that same mindset playing daily fantasy basketball, daily fantasy football, baseball. You want to eventually do well over the season, not do well every single day. So if you have a poor day one time, don't overreact and say, okay, I have to change up my strategy. Just keep your general strategy, and over time, see how you do over a week or maybe a few months.
All right, Chi, thanks so much for those tidbits. For more information, you can go to our website, statsinsights.com. When we come back, we've got your Monday Night Football preview. That's coming up on Stats Insights.